Okay, for all of my mellow yellows out there, thank you for joining me. It is episode number 2, and the intention for this broadcast is primarily aimed at focusing on, this broadcast is for everybody, but for many people who do the same things that I do. Just to introduce myself, for those who do not know me, of course, I probably got a total of 3 listeners, Periscope listeners out there, to add on to my listenership as it builds along the way here. And of course, we're only at episode number 2. But for those who do not know me, I am Joel Ayala Ayapana. I am the author of the book of Positive Light, Remembrance of the Heart. I am also working on a book project, which is a collaborative between over, 30 authors, 30 to 38 authors who have been hand-selected. I can't reveal the name of the book, but I can reveal that it will be released and published in, the spring 2016. And so I do that in addition to having my podcasted show. It's called Awakening Paradigms. It was initially on Web Talk Radio. I disengaged with Web Talk so that I can actually establish my own radio station. And the name of the radio station that will be launched launched in December 5th, 2015. And the name of this radio station is called Real Revolution Radio. And I don't even remember, but if I did say it before, I like to say it again. The name of my podcast, though, is called Awakening Paradigms, which will be launched on Real Revolution Radio. So in addition to those 3 things that I'm doing, being an independent self-published author, a podcaster, and then the CEO and founder of Real Revolution Radio, a radio station that is a network of podcasters where we talk about inspiring content. And so I do that in addition to having a regular full-time job. And so many people ask me, how do you do all these things, right? So I focus a lot of my energy for book writing, for these podcasts, and also for this new platform radio station, a network or community of podcasters. I focus a lot of my energy towards that. And then I am also a father and a husband as well. And from amidst all of that, I really have to have enough time for personal time as well. So this particular Periscope broadcast is for the people out there who like to multitask. And so because I have focused all of my energy on all of these projects, including my job and everything else, I neglected to focus on me and my own entire health. So this is day 1. I know the formula as far as my body type and how to actually lose the weight. I've done it before. I lost 30 pounds. Actually, I was like 250 many years ago, and I had brought it down to 180. So I lost a good 70 pounds at one point in my life. But it's starting to creep up there. Now, I'll be honest with you, So many people who may feel inspired and compelled to improve upon themselves, who are also multitaskers, I'm 220 pounds right now. I just weighed myself. I was like 221. And so this is day 1. The launch of Real Revolution Radio is going to be December 5th, 2015. So I have a little bit less than 3 months left. And I'm going to be in front of people presenting this groundbreaking network to many people within the local Cleveland metropolitan area. And so, to tell you the truth, I don't want to be looking at pictures later on down the line and seeing how heavy I am, how thick I am. So I'm taking the initiative to change my lifestyle. Of from a sedentary lifestyle to more of a proactive and active lifestyle, and just to follow the very footsteps that I've created for myself many years ago when I had lost 70 pounds. All I got to really lose at this point is not 70 pounds, but 30 pounds. I think I'd be comfortable. So what I'm doing right now is having this Periscope broadcast for people out there who would like information about what it would require to launching yourself into knowing exactly what is required to lose the weight. For one thing, it's a mindset that is required. You have to already establish within your mainframe, your mindset, and your feel set of things that you have already lost the weight. Okay, so just for all my mellow yellows out there, my Periscope listenership, I've already lost the weight. Okay, 220 is something of the past. My intention, the spark, is knowing this for it to be, to feel for it to be, and to know for this to be, and to emote that behavior as if I have already lost it. So that's the beautiful thing of it. Now, once you have established that in itself, then you are to arm yourself with basically the right tools, coping mechanisms, and the right strategies in order to make this happen and in order to make this manifest. And so as far as while we are still within our bodies, within this earthly plane of things, within this dimensional realms of things, we have to look at things that encourages primarily weight gain. Okay, now considering that there is a significant amount of chemicals within our food, chemicals within our air, chemicals and unnatural things all around us, and that is just basically what is all around within our landscape. Can we control that? Yes, of course, and within our own realms of reach of things, we can do so. As far as ecologically and governmentally, we do have programs in which we like to initiate in order to make that happen. But as far as what we can control within our own reach, we can basically eliminate a lot of those chemicals, GMOs that are out there. And of course, from what I know and what many people who are in the know, GMOs and chemicals are basically created as a fundraiser for many of the corporations out there that put it out there. It's for money. Okay, I mean, that's the main intention for corporations is their primary goal is money and profit. People and the host of things come last. So I mean, I'm not going to go into that world of things. That's another broadcast in and of itself. But for the most part, I want to bring to your awareness the things that well, before we get into that, I would like to bring to you the dynamics of being exposed to the chemicals and GMOs. And not a lot of people know this. It's a different mindset. It's a different feel set. It's a different way of looking at how our bodies react to chemicals and GMOs. The main side effect of consistent exposure to these chemicals within our foods and within our environment is, for the most part, the main side effect, the main reaction to these chemicals is primarily not so much the weight gain. The weight gain is secondary. The initial intention is the inflammation. Okay? Inflammation is the primary reaction that our bodies go through when we're exposed to these chemicals. And so what happens is that our cells, it becomes enlarged. And because of that, and the way that metabolic processes work out, there's more water that goes into these cells within our body. Fat cells, the muscular portions about ourselves, and the interstitial tissue. And so what is essentially happening is that the weight gain is coming from the the acquirement of more fluid within our interstitial tissues and the cells within our body. And so what is happening is that, you know, it's water weight gain for the most part, and the tissues expand, and then it seems like, for the most part, physiologically, that we're just gaining weight, meat-wise, as opposed to water weight. I'm not saying that's entirely the whole entire message or the process, but it's in collaboration, in combination, stacked up with many other things. But that is a single component of what basically happens. Weight gain is essentially the reaction that we respond to chemicals as a reaction to some sort of allergic reaction to as well. So with that being said, and knowing the science of that, we have to eliminate the chemicals. And these chemicals in of itself, we basically can acquire from fast food, from the unnatural processes of things. And so we have to focus more on natural. Organic is the best bet. Drinking more water is the best bet. We have to get away from the sugary fluids and keep it as natural as possible. So my encouragement for you who are basically starting out, and there's going to be some sort of withdrawal for you as well when you abstain from the chemicals, from the fast food, from the bad carbohydrates that are out there. I say the first week or two is going to be the most difficult. But again, once you set that mindset, everything follows through. Kind of like the trickle-down effect of things. So, looking forward and pressing on forward, carbohydrates are very important. The good carbohydrates, such as oatmeal, okay, rye bread, for the most part. Staying away from products that are white in nature, white flour, okay, white sugar, white bread, white pasta. We want to stay away from those type of carbohydrates, because I feel and believe that as well, that all of this, the chemicals, and also certain carbohydrates, the bad carbohydrates, it encourages the promotion of metabolic syndrome, which relates to how our body reacts to certain chemicals and carbohydrates as type of a allergic reaction. So be conscious of that. Drink plenty of water, and from what many of the Ayurvedics tell me, they also tell me that green tea is a wonderful type of a drink that you can acquire along the process of your weight loss journey. And also, you know, for me, I'm just starting out with walking, and then I will progress towards jogging and then running. And that's how I started out on my journey from many years ago, from a weight loss above 70 pounds. So, but running extensively where you're about to pass out, that's not the recommended type of modality to basically perform, because you want to basically have your heart rate at a certain rate. And so for those of you who do not know how to utilize the formula for determining the appropriate heart rate when you are jogging or running or performing any type of strenuous cardiovascular activity, you have to essentially know what your heart rate is going to be. So if you go below your heart rate, you're not going to lose any weight. If you go above your heart rate, you're not going to lose any weight either. So it has to be the right set amount of heart rate that must be acquired in order for you to have effective weight loss. So with that being said, again, the whole purpose of this broadcast on Periscope for this program that I would like to call independent creation nation is to allowing the people who are the multitaskers just like me to actually find modalities and ways that we can balance out our lives. Again, I am a podcaster. Again, I am an author working on another book. Also working on the 4th edition of my previous book, my first book, The Book of Positive Light, Remembrance of the Heart. And I am also the CEO and founder of Real Revolution Radio, which will be launched on December 5th, 2015, which is an entire network of podcasters. Right now I have between 31 and 32 podcasters out there which will be platforming on this new radio station. It is Cleveland based, and of course, as what I had reiterated many times on over from many previous unofficial, informal Periscope broadcasts, there's a movement going on here, okay, in the Cleveland area, and an awakening of sorts. So it is something that it is more in tune to the acknowledgement of the evolution of self. And when we are to focus on self and to improve upon ourselves and our perception about ourselves, what happens is that our environments begin to change as well, and for which that perception is relayed out to the exterior. It's fractal in nature. It's kind of like the mirror effect, and for which the inner microcosmic world of things is a mirror and parallel of our exterior and macrocosmic of things. So as how we are to change within, we shall see the change without throughout the universe, globally. And when we are to do that and see that connection that we have with one another, and sky's the limit. And so this is the reason for the broadcast, to encourage many of you to look within, to improve within, and to perceive yourself in a much more grand and healthy and spiritual and thriving sort of life. And so that we can change our life, we can change the atmosphere, we can change the landscape, we can change the political environment, we can change the spiritual environment, we can change our world that we see it today globally, holistically, when we are to view ourselves in a better way, and the acknowledgement of the involvement of the abundance of self, the abundance of attracting the goodness and prosperity, the beauty, the love, the integration, the oneness, the togetherness that we all possess in spirit as one. And so again, I'm kind of going above and beyond from what my normal intention is, which is basically a 10 to 15 minute broadcast. But a lot of the information that I'm saying right now is very pertinent and very important to the whole process of evolution for mankind, of humanity, if not for ourselves. And so with that said, I'm going to continue on with my workout. Again, this is day 1, episode number 2, and this is a journey that we will all live together. If you should join me as well in weight loss and an evolution of self, and then the creation of better people, better potentiality, better possibilities. And when we are to improve upon ourselves, we improve upon the landscape. We improve upon everything outside of ourselves globally. Okay? So with that said, thank you for joining me, my fellow Mellow Yellows, my Periscope listeners, which I hope I gained about maybe 5 more, which is a total of 10 Mellow Yellow Periscope listeners out there. But otherwise, beautiful day in the neighborhood. 85 degrees out here in Wickliffe, Ohio, 20 minutes away from downtown Cleveland. And this is Joel Ayala Ayapana, author of the Book of Positive Light, Remembrance of the Heart, host of my very own podcast, Awakening Paradigms, on my new platform, radio station, filled with wonderful and inspiring podcasters on RealRevolutionRadio.com. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you soon. God bless you. Namaste. Satnam. In Lakish Alakin.